Forgot to turn that on, didn't you?
Oh, that was perfect. Well, it's just as well that I completely bobbled that start there because this song is going to go away. We have an actual production coming starting next week to introduce this show. Good morning, everybody. I am DJ Lunchbox here with DJ Keen here.
Yep. On
Thursday morning. I almost said Tuesday, so I'm off to a great start here. This is what happens when you get 8 hours of sleep and only actually use about 2 of it.
Yeah.
This is, of course, Mr. Pushkin Came to Shove by Combustible Edison. I love this song. Of course, it sounds better if you actually hear it from the beginning. But you know what? I'm going to look forward. I'm looking forward. I'm not looking back.
Yeah. You know what they say. If you make a mistake, don't draw attention to it like we're doing now. Just keep going.
Yeah, but this show is all about mistakes. This show is all about learning from our errors.
There is that.
And growing and just a certain je ne sais quoi.
Are you sure anybody who you're covering in this show is growing at all?
No, there is absolutely no sign of that. There's probably no danger of that either. But let's get the formalities out of the way. The views, comments, and opinions expressed on the show are those of the individual and not necessarily shared by Griffin Radio, the Media Communications Department, Grossmont College, or the Grossmont Cuyamaca Community College District. This podcast is copywritten by Griffin Radio and Grossmont College 2018. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you're remembering to say that. Because it sounded like a few people have been forgetting, and as program director, that all comes back on me, basically.
I've forgotten once this semester, and I'm proud to say that every other time. See, the way that I'm kind of angled here is I've got the board on my right, I've got my guests, I've got my co-hosts on my left, so everything is just sort of under my eye. Let's see. I want to get a couple announcements out of the way first, because these are good to know. Today, as a matter of fact, today and tomorrow, right this darn moment, there is a blood drive going on at Grossmont College down at the quad between the Media Center and the administration building. It's going on today from 8:30 to 6:30 this afternoon. There is a big, shining, beautiful bloodmobile parked outside just waiting to jam a needle in you and extract your essences.
Yep. So
why on earth would you want to miss that? Come by, get some orange juice, get a cookie.
Sounds like so much fun.
Lose just a little bit of water weight, and you're doing a wonderful thing for other people. So come on by, give blood again today in the quad from 8:30 to 6:30, and then tomorrow is from 10 a.m. to 3:30. A little bit shorter, but same place. So come by and give some blood. Why don't you? Let's see. What did I have up in here? Gizmo's Kitchen, of course, is an absolutely fantastic organization here at Grossmont. Gizmo's Kitchen is in partnership with the San Diego Food Bank, which provides food assistance to any currently enrolled Grossmont College student experiencing inconsistent access to adequate food. The program provides short-term relief and offers referral for additional community food resources for ongoing assistance for those with food insecurity. You can come down to Grossmont at Building 60, Room 130, Monday through Thursday from 10 to 2. They are closed on Friday, but if you need assistance outside those hours, you can call 211 here on campus and get a hold of somebody who will be able to help you out. 67% of community college students experience food insecurity, so there is a pretty darn good chance that if you're sitting in class, the person to your left and to your right is experiencing food insecurity and does not know where their next meal is coming from. So please donate to Gizmo's Kitchen. Why don't you? It is a worthwhile organization and desperately needed. What? Oh, you can say. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're all about that here.
With Gizmo's Kitchen, I actually didn't realize it until recently because I never really had any classes over in that area, but it actually makes complete sense since Building 60 is where the culinary department is.
Well, see, there you go. It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
So make sure you donate to Gizmo's Kitchen. We are actually in plans to do a little bit of a food drive for Gizmo's Kitchen with our next remote. Supremus and I were talking about having a donation box and maybe having people who brought food by would be allowed to make requests for songs. So we are going to start promoting the heck out of this thing because, again, it is a worthwhile organization. So with that under our belt, I think we will launch straight into the news here. That's right. You're a noob. You haven't done this with us yet. So
yeah, I've been meaning to. It's just Too early.
Yeah, this is not time for people.
I already have to get in here at 8 a.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. I don't really want to do it this early on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Let's see. A Utah man who was hiding from police and fled arrest had to call 911 to be rescued after getting stuck in his hiding spot. I love it. Salt Lake City police say 46-year-old Shane Paul Owen called dispatchers for help on Tuesday, more than 6 hours after he accidentally locked himself in an old vacant church's boiler room. Officers were looking for Owens on Monday because he is a suspect in a string of burglaries, and he had warrants out for his arrest. Police say officers spotted him and attempted to pull his vehicle over, but he got out of his car and fled into the church. So... Fearing that he was armed, the police had called in the SWAT team, which surrounded the church and was able to enter when he called to be rescued. Quote, "They had me tied up here all night," he told the 911 dispatcher. "I'm not going to be able to put my hands up and climb out." They said police were initially skeptical, but they took him into custody without incident after they sent in a robot to check he was really stuck in the basement boiler room. Apparently, the basement boiler room had no door handles on the inside.
"We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house."
So, there was a little bit of that action going on there. He was stuck.
I just love that. Running from the cops, locks himself in, and has to call them to be rescued.
I don't have an analog to that. I don't have anything else I can think of off the top of my head that's where you are apparently trying to get away from some sort of person or authority and then have to call upon that person to save you. I got nothing on this one. It's just so stupid. They said that the police say they recovered drugs from him and booked him on warrants for retaliation against a witness, drug distribution, and identity fraud. So clearly he was a high-class individual who, I find it kind of ironic he decided to take sanctuary in a church, given his track record. He was probably not safe there one way or the other, if you know what I mean.
I almost have an analog for this, but I don't think it's radio friendly.
You could start, and if I could see where you're going, I'll start waving my hands and flagellating wildly.
Okay, let's start in a way that'll make everyone understand exactly what my analog for this is before we go all the way. An atheist.
Well,
who ends up in a really, really bad situation.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Is
you were saying
you could kind of say this is sort of like sweating like a whore in church kind of thing. He's not in the place anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of okay. This horse is completely flogged now. Similarly, a different story here. A would-be bank robber turned into a would-be bank customer Friday afternoon, police say. The suspect walked into a Bayonne, New Jersey bank and handed the teller a note demanding all the money. But as the teller read the note, he snatched it back and said he wanted to open an account. NewJersey.com reports. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Customer service rep met with him in another area, but he didn't have his ID with him. He needed to open an account.
Yeah, you don't generally bring that in when you're going to rob the place.
I'm sorry, I'm here to rob the bank. Well, we don't have that today. Do you want to open an account? Sure. Do you have your ID with you? No, I don't have my ID with me. Can I call somebody? It's like, no.
Nope.
That's just pretty sad. That's just sad. Oh my God.
Loser! You're a loser!
I'm sorry. I sound like I'm stoned. I am running on fumes today. I got no sleep, so.
I don't think many of us are getting any this week. It's a busy week.
Maybe that's what it is. There's just there's words are coming to me. Exams coming up. It's already been a month. We're already a month into the semester, so there's
plus,
midterms.
Even just here on the radio, we have air checks and productions and stuff are due this week, and
which I just found out about half an hour ago.
Yeah, and all of us advanced students that have specialty shows are putting together intros for those shows, so that's taking up time and just a lot of things all sort of coming to a head at once.
Yeah, which, shameless plug again, a bright, shiny production for this show will be coming up. A nice intro. We've got some fun music and funny bits ready to be played for the show starting next week to really kind of get it a little legitimacy or...
That's okay. There'll be a nice cobbled together production for my intro to my show in about an hour.
With a lot of pops and clicks and a little bit of...
Oh, it'll probably sound bad.
Dead air.
I put it together pretty quick because I needed it for the show, but it may change throughout the semester.
Let's see here. Oh, I like this one. This was a good story. Long-distance relationships can be tough, and to make them work, some couples come up with different ways to keep the magic alive despite living miles apart.
Oh, God.
Modern technology makes it easy to speak to your loved one every day, and you can share videos and photos in seconds, but it used to be a very different story. Like many young lovers at the time, one gentleman decided to write his wife some rather naughty letters while he was away at sea in the 1960s. His wife read them, put them away in what she thought was a safe place. She was wrong.
Wait. Before you continue on, there's part of me that's just desperately wants this to be some super famous person from history.
No, it was in the 60s, so I mean it was just some guy who was out at sea. He on deployment.
That's too bad.
His wife read the letters and put them away in what she thought was a safe place. She was wrong. A few weeks later, the couple, who asked to remain anonymous, was mortified to discover that their 3-year-old daughter had decided to share their most intimate thoughts with some of the neighbors. Speaking to the Mirror Online, the man said, "I sent some steamy letters to my wife when I was at sea, some exceedingly hot. They'd been opened by my wife, who had read them and put them away as she safely thought, which was not the case. My daughter found them and went on a little postal delivery run around the neighborhood. A neighbor returned some of them to my wife. Oh, happy days."
Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
"I think the neighbors read them because when I arrived home, I got some funny looks. Luckily, more than 50 years later, he can see the funny side of it, but his wife still hasn't lived it down, and simply pretends it never happened." Now, this I have several questions on, because the 60s were a very bizarre time, particularly in this was in the UK, by the way. The 60s, depending on which way the pendulum swung in your particular social circle, it was either really risque. There was lots of, key parties and people drinking out of, vodka-filled watermelons and piling up on the waterbed. Or it could be like, wife showed man ankle kind of thing. There's a scandal.
Well, since it's in England, it could have been either, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. It could go either way. But I just find it hysterical that the daughter found them and just decided that she wanted to play mailman that day, and so she just started distributing them to all the neighbors' mailboxes.
Houses, yeah.
His wife's like, no, no, this didn't happen. No,
Don't ever talk about it to me again.
But I love the Dom DeLuise.
Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
That pleases me. I had a hard time finding some of the clips for these stories. There was one here about Cheetos that I just could not, for the life of me. I had to put that on the back burner. I just could not find a good audio clip for it. Let's see. Police say a getaway car ran out of gas after an armed robbery near Atlanta, leading to the speedy arrest of 2 suspects. Gwinnett County Police Corporal Michelle Pihara said that 18-year-old Najee Logan and 21-year-old Justin Larry were charged with armed robbery after their early arrest Tuesday after officers found the car on empty. Pihara's statement says the victim surrendered a wallet to 2 men at gunpoint in a grocery store at about 1 a.m. Tuesday in Stone Mountain, Georgia, reports the AP. Here's the fun part. Police say officers found the car about 15 minutes later with Logan and Larry inside. They'd made it about 2 miles down the road before running out of gas, notes the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So, they didn't bother to see how much gas was in the car.
You didn't bother to see that you were on E before robbing someone.
Yeah. Both men were jailed. Police didn't say if they had lawyers. Pihara says it's fortunate the victim wasn't hurt, chalking up the arrests to what she calls poor planning.
Yeah, I'd tell you that about defines it.
That seems like a critical thing you'd want to look into. Okay, A, we got the car. Check. B, can we drive the car?
Yeah.
I thought you looked. Comedy of errors here. That's just stupid.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything there. Let's see. It is about 1:15, so we are going to take a little musical break here and come back in a few minutes. I am DJ Lunchbox here at Griffin Radio.
I'm DJ Keen.
Don't forget you can check us out on Facebook at Griffin Radio 119 and on Instagram at Griffin Radio SD. And of course, you can listen to all of this fun at Griffin Radio channel at the Griffin Radio channel on the TuneIn app for both your Android and iPhone. We will be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am DJ Lunchbox here on Griffin Radio.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
What in the world are you two doing over there?
We're both trying to listen.
They're figuring out a setup. They're figuring it out.
Like to improvise.
So we have DJ Threads joining us here this morning, which I am incredibly happy at because we've got two newbies joining me this morning, Keen and Threads over there.
Yep.
And Brandon, against all odds, dragged himself in here this morning.
Life finds a way.
So he's here to join us this morning.
Our former DJ B. Millie.
That would be me. Hello.
The greatest.
Oh,
so
please.
we're just going to do one or two more news stories, and then we are going to play our game again since everybody here except for me is a new contender for our little Chubby Bunnies competition.
Oh, wow.
And I can't wait to see how this goes.
I haven't played it since sophomore year.
You know, Supremus was saying that he hadn't even had the game brought up since he was in diapers.
My
like
gosh.
grade school.
Yeah, last time I probably played this game was in grade school too.
Yes, but you probably haven't played it this way before. Let's see. So we will jump right in here to first story here. Police in Louisiana have uncovered a sophisticated Los Angeles-based identity theft ring thanks to two men who skipped out on their $7 Waffle House bill, authorities say.
Waffles, tasty waffles with lots of syrup.
Waffle House employees called police on Saturday saying two men had stiffed the restaurant and driven away in a U-Haul van. Investigators were still taking statements at the restaurant when a patrol officer spotted a U-Haul van parked at a nearby hotel. A passenger ran into the nearby woods as the officers approached, according to Deputy Chief Daniel Hunter.
Oh my gosh!
No, they saw the truck. Hey, that's kind of suspicious. Hey, there's a guy going off into the woods there. What's going on with him? You think we should ask him something?
They seriously stiffed the bill and then stayed at a hotel nearby.
A $7 bill.
Probably listening to the Orson Welles. She had to make a run for it. I mean, you gotta think like.
Oh no! Aliens are invading.
Saying,
aliens are invading.
Like, oh my gosh, Martians are coming from the sky. So he ran. That's,
Well,
hey, I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, he ran into the woods, so they, surprise, arrested him. They used a police dog to track down his passenger, and a search of the van turned up fake ID and credit card skimming devices, and a Waffle House receipt for $7.41.
Don't you love how karma in life works? Like, have you heard of that Amazon documentary, The Jinx, about Robert Durst?
Mm-mm.
This guy wanted for a bunch of very horrible crimes, including murder. He gets found because he stole a 7-Eleven sandwich. The guy is a multi-millionaire that owns pretty much 30% of the real estate in New York City, could afford to buy an entirely new life, and he didn't buy a sandwich, and he left, and that's how they found Robert Durst.
I've seen, it's interesting because I've seen in some cases
Unreal.
they'll have these ultra rich people who always have their little entourage with them that wave around the black Amex card and take care of everything in their wake.
Yeah.
And so in cases like that, it sounds like he probably, I'm assuming, just didn't even think to, Leona Helmsley'd his way out of there, just didn't even think to pay for it. It was just.
Well, again, I'm playing funny here.
Yeah.
Maybe he saw.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Not here.
Maybe he was watching. He binged watched Orange Is the New Black.
Okay.
And said, you know what? I can afford all of this, but I can't afford to get that experience. So this is how I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm just saying. You could
be very right.
I'm just saying.
It was a 7-Eleven sandwich. Maybe he thought it wasn't worth paying the money for.
That's what I was like. Maybe it's so below him that he's like, I'm just going to walk out of here.
He wasn't going to be paying money for it, but he was going to be paying for it later, if you know what I mean.
But
I don't have a rim shot sound here. That is.
You got to keep that on hand.
You
got to keep that on hand.
Let's see. The investigation revealed a highly sophisticated identity theft scheme was operating out of Los Angeles. police chief said the driver, Station D. Stevens, 20, of California, and Richard Brown, 18, of Indiana, had flown into Narlands, rented the van, installed the credit card skimming devices at multiple gas stations in the area, and both were arrested on charges of identity theft, bank fraud, monetary instrument abuse, and theft by fraud, reports the AP. I like this part from the police chief. As long as I'm here, we are not going to put up with any of this criminal nonsense, especially from criminals flying in from California and Indiana. Police Chief Johnny J.J. Jennings said in a news release, "Let this be a lesson on etiquette as well. Pay your bill and tip your waitresses."
Them Californians.
He was offended that they were
love it.
Californians.
California.
Yes, the most horrible of criminals.
Yes.
all
That's
around
one of the
world.
worst crimes, I
We come
swear.
surfing in on a wave,
I was gonna
rob
say-
you, and surf away.
I was going to say, we just care so much about so many things here in California.
We're going to take our tofu and dyed hair to Texas.
Yep.
That's a good thing.
Actually,
I think
Yeah.
so, too.
Actually, I think tofu and dyed hair is getting pretty big in Texas in certain parts.
I know there's the whole keep Portland weird kind of thing up.
Yeah.
But isn't there a similar city in Texas, like
I
Houston
think-
or something? Is it Austin?
I think
it's Austin. It's where all the more liberal, more weird, more
So, I mean, it's already
open
there.
sort of people go.
Yeah, I think you're right, just
It
because
is.
it's like their entertainment capital. Like Austin, Texas is like the entertainment capital of Texas.
That's so silly. Let's see. We will do one more story here.
Please.
I thought this one was particularly interesting. Let's see.
Ooh.
Authorities had little trouble tracking the thief down after he stole 100 GPS trackers along with other items from the Santa Clara offices of tech firm Romby, NBC reports.
Who steals GPS trackers? That's the dumbest thing you could possibly steal.
How do you find literally the most perfect sound effects for your stories that like I'm like thinking about the sound effect and I'm like, wait, how does this tie in? And then I hear a word, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, you got lucky that one, because I was just telling Keen about 10 minutes ago I was having a really hard time finding good sound effects for some of these this week. Let's see. Stole 100 GPS trackers, so I'm pretty sure there wasn't much difficulty triangulating his location. The company's devices help producers track goods as they are shipped around the world. The moment we realized they had a box of trackers, we went into recovery mode, says company co-founder Vidya Subramanian.
You
Sure,
got there.
I
You got there. You
I-
made it work.
yeah.
You made it work.
It was
You made
sloppy. I
it
got
work.
this.
You made it work.
We notified the police and equipped them to track the devices. In about 5 or 6 hours, it was done. The thief, who apparently thought the devices were cell phone chargers and it could be resold, also managed to cut himself while taking a beer from the fridge during the burglary, leaving DNA evidence behind on a napkin he used to soak up the blood.
Okay, there is no defending this guy in a lot of ways, but I will defend one thing. He didn't think they were trackers when he stole them, at least.
You should know what you're stealing.
You should.
That's true.
You should, but at least he wasn't dumb enough to knowingly steal
He's
GPS
just
trackers.
he's just common sense dumb.
Threads has her face in her hands here, and I think that is just the proper response.
Again, I'm giving him the
Grasping for
benefit
some
of a
sort of
doubt.
benefit
I'm with you. I'm thinking he was thinking about like Fast and the Furious. Like he wanted to
yeah.
relive that movie, but the only way he can do that if nobody can find him, so he can collect all the GPS trackers in this area that he'd be able to reenact Fast and Furious.
Make
I-
the cops
Part
could chase
7.
him.
I
Yeah.
wish we had video in the studio for everybody to watch. Threads just like for like the first 3 minutes of this, just hand in the face.
I keep
shaking, like,
forgetting to
what?
set up a phone for Instagram or Snap
Yeah,
and
we've
take
been
pictures.
We've been
Love
trying
it.
to
I
do
will
like
bring that
Facebook
next
Live
week.
and Instagram
We'll
and
do
stuff
that
like
next
that.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do.
We'll
Please
do
bring
that.
that.
That'd be great. I'll do that.
Oh, well, as our promotions manager
Love
in
it.
waiting, that's
Hoping, fingers crossed.
actually, yeah, our Supremacist is telling me that today they're going to be announcing all of the positions to be filled. So
I was
looking
gonna
forward to-
say it really, as somebody
We're
that can
announcing them
speak
today.
on the outside looking in, as somebody who's not in the class anymore, the social media really does help me like keep in touch and like keep up with remembering like, oh, I can listen to Griffin Radio, just because like I'll be listening to Spotify and then I'll see you guys doing your games and stuff like that and your stories, and I'll be like, oh wow, they're doing their specialty show right now, I could listen to it. I will say that helps as somebody outside looking in.
I think we've been a lot more active lately too, because I know Supremus
sure.
is posting a lot, and Threads is going to be just crazy with that sort of thing.
We've been really pushing the social media stuff, and we've also really been pushing announcing the social media stuff a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's been working. I will say, like, it is helping me keep up with the stuff, like seeing the Instagram stories and like the Snapchat stories from people.
Good. I was going to do one more story just because I really wanted to see your reactions that we covered. Sam and I went over this last week, but I really just kind of want to get your all of your takes on this.
That's
fire away.
We'll do it quickly here.
Fire away.
A nondescript Toronto shopping plaza is set to welcome a new tenant in September that advertises itself as the first sex doll brothel in North America.
Oh yes, give it to me. I am so badly wanting it. You have ruined me for all other factory-made women who... Your time has expired. Please insert credit card if you wish. Sexual flattery monologue number 387A to continue for another 5 minutes, you stallion. No American Express.
No, I do. I remember hearing that,
Justin,
that soundbite. I didn't hear the whole
I
story before.
swear to God, you never cease to amaze.
Threads' mouth is just kind of opening and closing silently.
That was
Unreal.
rapid. That escalated quickly.
Listening to that clip again, and a question has come to me that it didn't occur to me on Tuesday. Long story short, I'm just going to summarize. A shop is opening up in a mall up in Toronto that's going to have a bunch of booths where people can rent sex dolls for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
People will be charged $60 to $742 for their time with the dolls. I'm assuming it's $60 an hour. Okay. And of course, they promise that they are sanitized between clients, which I would hope is something they don't really doesn't have to be mentioned. How do you know when your time is up? Does it simply slam shut?
I was gonna say, like, maybe a conversation we should have off the air, but I was like,
I think you know when your time is up, Justin.
How do I know?
Well, that's a good point.
I'm pretty sure you know when your time is up.
How do you... Time is not an issue, because if you're going over an hour, you may...
Yeah.
That's pretty intense. And then
maybe some people just want to sit there and read to it.
Some guys want to cuddle.
That's true.
That's a good point.
That is very true.
What happened to teddy bears? Where'd the teddy bears go?
Well, they're at a mall. There's probably a Build-A-Bear 2 doors down.
Yeah, Build-A-Bear, something. Like, really? A doll? If you need a hug,
they don't get the pre-cuddle things with the Build-A-Bear.
No, you know how they're giving free and virtual hugs? That is safe.
We lost B. Millie. He's just got his shirt over his face.
I'm just laughing in his shirt.
I'm just saying, like, really? They got bears. They got like little hearts, and you can hear them in there. You need a heartbeat or something. But a doll for $60 an hour? I need to move to Toronto and open up a business, because apparently they're planning on making
so
money
lucrative for so little.
And I'll get creative with mine. I'll get
crying.
really creative with mine.
I'm crying. That was unreal.
Yeah, he is actually weeping a little bit here.
Like, darn, they're Barbie dolls, they're Ken dolls, they're teddy bears.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
They're missing certain things.
So I just wanted to get all of your reactions, since none of you were here on Tuesday, and I just thought that was gold. I had to whip that one out again. So
oh my
to speak.
gosh, are we
That's
going?
possibly the best story
the
you've pulled so far.
So I think we'll just launch right in here, since time is kind of not on our side. I wasn't certain at first whether I wanted to do this again so soon with our Chubby Bunny limerick competition here.
Okay.
But honestly, when I went home and listened to it, I was laughing so hard. And honestly, the more the merrier here. This is going to be, I think, a lot of fun.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Can you before, because
yeah, explain the rules.
I'm old school. Please explain the rules.
Yeah, explain the rules.
So what I have here in my hand. So if you want to read the ones that are crossed off, that's fine. Just make like another little mark over it, because it's the same list from Tuesday. So everybody's going to take one marshmallow every time one of us reads a limerick, and then you have to read the limerick. And it just gets increasingly bizarre.
Oh, we have to read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let me be the last person.
Well, I say we'll let B. Millie here go first, since he's sort of our guest.
We are going to get it
Sounds good.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Plus,
sounds good.
if you're the last person, you're going to have to read your first limerick with like 3
So
marshmallows.
I have to read this whole thing. So I have to read this whole thing.
Just pick one of them and go for it.
Actually, that's where I was a little off. We're all doing a marshmallow every time.
Otherwise,
one
it takes
person-
too long if you're
Yes.
just doing one at a time.
Yeah,
So
if you're just doing one at a time, it would take way
Here
too
we go. Said a fool whose mind was quite minuscule as his ignorance reached a new pinnacle. I don't believe in astrology. It's my ideology, but I'm a Leo, and Leos are cynical. So do we all take a marshmallow?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody get
So
one.
we gotta put after you. I put this. Oh my
I
God.
believe
Now
so.
I have to do 2.
now I got a
Okay,
I
I'll
got a
put the
trash.
third
I have a
Okay,
trash
so I
can
have to
over
do
here.
2?
You just put in one more, yeah.
Okay.
I have a trash can over here on the side, so if you need to bow out and be a little loser, then you can
I
spit
know
them
my
here.
family's listening. I'm making them so proud right now.
Well, I mean,
Okay. I'm ready.
There was a young lady from Yap who had acne all over her map, but in her interstices lurked a far worse disease commonly known as the cloud. God, Justin.
now when I got home and played this, I got a little pushback because I had made the claim that these were all clean and not very body. And then
I thought you were talking about the marshmallows.
no, the marshmallows are fine. I'm getting them. I'm loading up 2 here.
Okay.
Sam, we discovered, has an unusually cavernous mouth.
Oh, wow.
Remus was terrified.
Okay, we're at 3.
We're at 3.
We are at
Ooh,
3.
that tastes good. I want some s'mores now. I should have brought my lighter.
Not to eat them, because we're not supposed to.
Go for it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You got it.
Okay. That sounds so funny. Okay. There was a young fellow named Hall who died in the spring and fall. 'Twould have been a bad thing had he died in the spring, but he didn't. He died in the fall. Okay, I did that.
Good.
With my mouth looking like I got a whole bunch of snuff in it or something.
I look like the guy from The Godfather.
I gotta make an offer you can't refuse. Oh God!
Okay.
I can't use my fingers to move it on my
And
mouth
we're at
because then I gotta
4.
touch the board.
We're at 4.
Oh, let's see. Oh, this was my favorite one.
Go for it.
The integral z squared dz from 1 to the cube root of 3 times the cosine of 3 pi over 9 is the log of the cube root of e.
Nice. All right, give me one more.
Oh my
We're at
gosh.
5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
You know what? I don't math. I'm gleeking all over the place here. I don't math very well. It just occurred to me this game goes much faster the more people there are.
Yes, it does.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
In dinner and leather we ride. With our
Look like you're foaming. Quick, somebody get a wallet between his teeth.
In dinner and leather we ride. With our ladies in lace by our side. We shred off our face at a merciless pace. If we say that we're sober, we've lied. Nice.
Oh my gosh.
How we do? We're at 6. We're at 6. If you can't do it, you can't do it. That's the point of the game. Don't hurt yourself.
Oh
Good.
Talk through the pain.
Here we go.
Through the pain. All right, my turn.
Oh, God.
A swimmer whose clothing got strewed by breezes that left her quite nude saw a man come along, and unless we are wrong, you expected this line to be lewd.
Oh God.
Don't laugh, you'll ruin it.
You all right there, Brandon? Okay.
I don't know what's funnier.
How you doing, B-Millie?
We all look like chipmunks. And I'm looking like I'm drooling marshmallows.
Oh my God! Why am I not taking pictures again?
No!
Take pictures of me, I look fantastic.
Isn't that lovely? Ain't that lovely?
All right.
Okay,
Fred.
I can still say my L words.
You can pick one from any pages. I mean, there's 4.
Oh, that's what, okay, good.
Yeah, there's 4 pages worth.
Let me see something that has L. I feel like I can really use the word L. Oh, that's... No, I'm gonna challenge myself.
You're
with
just
the L.
dissolving in my mouth again.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I'm sitting...
Oh.
I'm trying to push these marshmallows in my mouth here, guys. There once was a lady named White who can travel much faster than light.
Well,
She was out one day in a relative way and arrived on the crazy, isn't it?
You can't do it. You can't spit that out.
I like to win. I like to win, okay? I'm competitive. I can't help it.
You know, you are kind of the maverick here. Nobody really kind of knew how you were going to react, and now I think it was a bad idea to bring you in because you...
I'm driving out first.
Here we go.
B-Millie's out.
You can't do it.
Aw.
No.
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh. The texture in my mouth.
Pure sugar.
All right. Keep going.
All that sugar and
I'm
hoof.
out first. Go. Nobody make him laugh. That's cheating.
Hang on. Let's stand by.
What was that? I missed that.
I said stand by.
Okay.
On the chest of a barmaid in sale was tattooed the prices of ale. And on her behind, for the sake of the blind, was the same information in Braille.
Oh my gosh. Oh. What are we at now? 8?
I don't know.
I think I don't know. We're just going until somebody taps out.
Lost
Don't
count.
you chew?
I'm trying not to. It turns out I have a narrow mouth.
It's difficult not to. Oh God, this one's gonna be weird.
Get to it, man. I
This will
believe.
be the weird part. Okay.
Yeah, well, I keep getting the lewd ones. This one I don't think is lewd. I don't think.
You're gonna crush it. Crush it.
Weird alliteration.
You got it.
If you catch a chinchilla in Chile and cut off its beard willy-nilly, you can honestly say you made on that day a Chilean chinchilla's chin chili.
This is the best.
Oh my gosh.
This is the best. Oh my God, breathe. Hey.
I'm so glad I came in here.
Hi. Hello. How you doing? This isn't gross at all. This isn't gross at all.
Oh my gosh.
It's my turn, everybody.
Kill it, Threads.
I was just taking a marshmallow
Okay.
for the road, but I love you all.
You're gonna kill it, Threads. I can already tell.
Hold on.
Kill the game. Kill the game.
There once was a man from Calcutta who spoke with a terrible stutter.
You can't use your hands.
Stuffing them in
For breakfast, he said, I'll have the bread and the water.
What the hell is going on over there?
That sounded like literally just screaming.
You out, Justin?
I'm done.
I'm out.
I win!
Oh my God, DJ Keen has.
DJ Keen is our winner.
I'm the victor.
I think you were just eating them though, because
Oh.
your mouth is surprisingly empty at the moment.
Oh my God, maybe he's got a
I
Sam
wasn't
thing
eating
going
them,
on.
but they keep dissolving and
Yeah,
then just
yeah, yeah.
packing further in.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Threads.
I
That
think
was
I-
unreal.
wait,
Once
wait.
was a man from Calcutta.
Victory lap. I think I can finish these, actually.
Mazel tov, I got a whole nother bag at home. If you want to.
No, I don't want any more.
That
but-
was the
oh,
best.
Man, I actually ate all
That was
of them.
the best.
I should have spit them out.
Oh
I
my
think in an
gosh.
aggregate way, I probably got about 3 down. So,
Yeah,
the-
I'll
the-
say as well. They dissolved so much.
yeah, you know, most of
my
them went one
God.
direction.
Yeah.
A couple of them went the other way.
They all just turned into like goo and then just packed into my cheeks, basically.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
oh my lord.
That was the best.
Oh,
It's like my cheeks have dissolved marshmallow juice like everywhere. Yeah. Hopefully I don't go into a marshmallow
You know what the
coma.
best part about all you're
Marshmallow coma.
You know what the best part about all of this is? You're getting a grade for this.
I know.
You're getting a grade for this.
We were discussing that on Thursday, on Tuesday.
We're getting A pluses for this because our new faculty advisor is willing to offer a plus. So we're getting A pluses for this.
I wish.
Awesomeness.
Now I'm burping a little bit. It's backing up on me.
I know.
I wish I had that clip to isolate because we were discussing that exact point
Oh my
that
gosh.
not only are we sitting here giggling like idiots, cramming marshmallows into our face, playing games like we're 5 years old, but we're getting college credit for this.
It'll make us a better speaker.
Oh my gosh. So
Well,
funny.
Some of us are putting stuff that'll last us for the rest of our lives on our resumes and get us jobs for this.
And
I
diabetes.
would a
Yes.
$1,000,000% put what just happened on a resume. 100%. That was
Well, of course you
amazing.
would.
Yeah, I would, because A, then they would know that they could win Chubby Bunny against me,
Well,
and B,
My Fair Lady is one of my favorite little movies with was it Audrey Hepburn back in, or Catherine? I can never remember which Hepburn. And
Don't know.
Rex. Oh wow, it's all just flowing. It's my favorite movie, and I don't know who's in it. But I just was falling asleep, which is when I always have my weirdest ideas, and then I have
Yeah.
to get up and write them down. But I was thinking about the scene where he's trying to teach her how to speak, and he's filling her mouth with marbles, and I'm like, well, I don't think we can do marbles, but marshmallows, marshmallows.
No, yeah.
oh
That was a
man,
good idea.
what a
We might
stroke of
choke on
genius.
marbles.
Well, I mean, it's
We were almost choking on marshmallows. We definitely choke on marbles.
We're
I
getting
just had the-
you're
had the
getting
craziest
college credit for this.
I know it's so sad.
Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
such a scam.
With what you just said about the marbles, I'd be like, if I play with marbles, I lose my marbles.
Nah.
Yeah,
Pun!
But
Oh
you'll
my
get
gosh.
Honey!
You'll get them back though.
Red's killing it.
D
Killing it
Millie,
with
you
the
need to get to
puns.
class. It is 10 till.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Okay.
Not to
Well-
kick you out, but I know
No,
you've got better things to
well, you're the responsible one. I would stay here
do.
forever.
Yes.
I would stay here forever, but
That's
Justin's
adorable.
actually got his head on his shoulders. All right, guys.
Try to
Thank
find
you.
out. Try to find out how to give yourself a D semester, because we want you to stay
Oh
here
my
forever.
gosh, I want to.
Mm.
I want to so
Oh,
bad.
that's so sweet.
All right, guys. I will see
Thank
you
you
later.
so much
Thank
for stopping
you.
by.
Thank you for having me.
I think we're going to wrap it up here so that we can get prepped for Keen's show coming up at 10 o'clock, Critical Hits, where I'm going to be joining him. We're doing a little flip side here. I'll be on the other side of the desk.
Yes.
See you later.
I will be in control of the board, but I don't have anywhere near the sound bites that you do.
Dun, dun, dun.
I just have some good music for you guys.
So we are going to wrap it up here. Going to take a few minutes off and play some nice music. We got Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Money in My Hand by Primitive Radio Gods coming up. Once again, as we were talking about with social media, please be sure to check us out on Griffin Radio 119. Our Instagram is Griffin Radio SD. And the TuneIn app, look for us at the channel called Griffin Radio. You'll know which one it is because there is a big griffin and it says Griffin Radio.
He looks super cool.
He looks super cool, and he also looks like he's tweaking a little bit, but we're working on
He's
that.
got headphones and a shirt, and he looks all
and
awesome.
And his pupils are kind of dilated, and he looks.
Well, he's a college student.
Well, that's a good point.
That's not, well, yeah, that's a good analysis. I haven't seen this one, but now I'm going to go look it up. I really want to see this.
I mean, I'm not saying it, but I'm not saying it.
Not. This is awesome.
I'm not saying. Absolutely. So anyway, TuneIn app. Look for us on Griffin Radio. You can listen to us on Android or iPhone. You can also listen to us on the school website, grossmont.edu/Griffin Radio. We are going to take off here. Thank you so much for listening and letting us pretty much just kind of waste your time here.